Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled The Wisdom of Mordechai. There's an amusing story in the Gemara. It's a tragic topic, but it sounds a bit funny when you hear the story. Tetzayin, Amud Aleph 16a in Gemara Megillah writes that Haman, after hearing the idea from Ahasuerus that he needs to take Mordechai around on the horse, he approaches Mordechai. Mordechai is in the middle of giving a shiur to the rabbis, and he sees Haman coming, figures he's about to come to kill him. He tells the rabbis to run, and he'll deal with Haman. And there's a whole dialogue that the Gemara portrays between Haman and Mordechai. And throughout the dialogue, Mordechai is very aggressive to Haman. Haman talks about all the money and all the wealth that he has, but it's not worth anything. So Mordechai says, you're not wealthy. The money really doesn't belong to you. You're just an Eved. I know your history. Then he talks about the fact that he was giving Mordechai a haircut because all the bathhouses were closed during the 3 days of fasting. And he's moaning and groaning as he's giving him a haircut and washing him. And Mordechai says, nah, I know. He used to be a barber. He just keeps putting him down. And then finally, it's time. He's all dressed. He's ready to go onto the horse. And he says, I can't go up to the high horse. But the time has come, we have to go. So Haman bends down because he has to follow the decree of the king to make sure Mordechai gets on the horse, well groomed and dressed. And as Mordechai's getting on to the horse, he kicks Haman. And Haman says, what's going on? You don't go ahead and rejoice. Doesn't the Torah say you don't rejoice at your enemy's downfall? Mordechai says, that doesn't apply to you. By you, we should step on you even harder. A Jew who has a downfall, I shouldn't rejoice. But for you, I should rejoice. So it's a witty story as you read through. Mordechai kept making fun of Haman, and we have some vicarious pleasure of the tzaddik making fun of the Rasha. But when you think about it, it doesn't sound so reasonable. The bottom line is, Haman is still in power, and Mordechai is still part of the decree to be wiped out. So after the horse ride around the neighborhood, Haman's going to be back with Ahasuerus, and Mordechai is going to be mourning again. So what is a little outlet for a few minutes? Not possible to say about Mordechai, a Yehudi. Rather, in my opinion, what's happening is the following. A few dapim early on, Yud Gimel Bet 13b, the Gemara talks about how Haman worked out the plan with Ahasuerus. He didn't just say, hey, Ahasuerus, let's just kill the Jews. And Ahasuerus said, yeah, sure, that's a great idea. Not what happened. The Gemara explains it was step by step thought out. He said, and its analysis of the pasuk, that they're not contributing to society. And if you're afraid of Ahasuerus, that maybe they have divine merit that's going to protect them, that's been protecting them for thousands of years, it's not true. They lost that merit. They're not following the mitzvot anymore. They don't have the divine protection. Financially, they're not contributing to the country. Socially, they're not contributing to the country. And really, they don't like you, Ahasuerus. They don't respect you. I'll give you an example, Ahasuerus. If you go ahead and you touch their wine, they'll spill it out. If a fly goes in the wine, they'll take the fly and they'll drink it. You see, they have no respect for you and your kingdom. They're a separate group. They did not integrate into society. They have no benefit to society. And he worked through. It didn't just happen. So Haman was a bright man. He had a goal of killing the Jews. He went about it in a very smart way, in a thought-out way. And when Mordechai didn't bow down to Haman, and he was crazed. He wanted to kill him on the spot. He didn't. Because he knew very well, if he kills him on the spot, Ahasuerus is going to have his head. What are you doing? I didn't give you the right to kill anyone you want. He stayed under control. He let his wife have it. He told his family how crazed he was, but he didn't let it out. He was not impulsive in that way. He controlled himself. So, Mordechai said, this is a very dangerous situation. There's no shortage of Rasham in the world. We have Rasham, we have the terrorists that come try to knife us every day. They're going to do damage to us, and they're going to kill us. That's horrible. They're not going to destroy the nation. They'll kill one here, two here, three, and each one they kill is a world, and the whole nation is mourning. But the nation will continue against Hashem. Of course, the families will be suffering forever, and our hearts and thoughts, of course, are with them. But who could destroy the nation or get close to it? not just someone who hates the Jews, someone who hates the Jews, but is bright, can set up a plan, and has the patience and the control to carry out the plan. And Haman had that, just like 70 years ago, Hitler had it. He wrote the book, the Mein Kampf, built up the society, speaking, eventually gets leadership, thought through. It was only at the end when his general said, "You're going too far, this is irrational." Till he hit that point, he was wildly successful with his sick plan. Haman was the same way. And Mordechai said, "What am I going to do?" So Mordechai purposely was overly aggressive and insightful. He wanted to send Haman off the deep end. He couldn't be clear, couldn't be rational anymore. And then a few hours later, he comes from his Gehenna, Haman, and he's invited to be with Esther. All of a sudden, he's with the queen and the king on a private audience. Their goal was to go ahead and throw him off. And to realize, not let him realize his goals by being in that stable mode. And I think this really shows the greatness of Mordechai and Esther. Rabbi Jeffrey Rockwood once said that maybe the reason that Megillat Esther is going to be around forever, as the Rambam says it in the Hilchos Megillah, is because we really see the greatness of the tzaddik, that a Torah produces a tzaddik. And not just that he's going to get a great reward in Olam Haba in the future. Right here, the Torah produces someone great in this world. You see the difference. You see how Mordechai was thought out, thought through, but for beautiful goals. Every step he made with the tshuva and sitting in the sackcloth. And even after he goes for a big ride on the horse, wow, right back to the sackcloth, even keeled, straight. All his chachma, his bina, his dat, everything. His whole personality is directed towards Chachmas Hashem, getting closer to Hashem, developing his midah. He works with Esther in a beautiful manner. And she says, "Well, I don't know if I could come forth with the king. I could get killed." And Esther, Mordechai says, "There's no one to play around here. We have to be stern when he needed to be stern." He made it very clear to her. And he won her over also. It wasn't easy for her to go initiate with the king. But everything these two tzaddikim did was thought through with Chachma, Bina, not how to run the nation and how to bring salvation with Hashem's help, of course, as opposed to the Rishaim. You don't just see Risham where, the assumption is that they're not going to have Olam Haba, they're going to have Gehenna. They produce their own Gehenna right here. Haman went ahead and his crazy life made him Meshugana. Yes, he kept control until Mordechai pushed him over the edge. But it was a crazy life. He came home screaming at his wife, "I can't take this anymore." Achashverosh's craziness is such a baltaiva, so into his indulgence that he goes ahead and kills his wife. Then he's mourning, "Hey, where's my wife?" So that's the book of Megillat Esther. Two tzaddikim living a beautiful life, and we see in this world Olam Hazeh how they progress and develop, and two Risham living such sick lives, and we see how they interact with each other, and how Mordechai had such plans, and Esther had plans how to work with them to defeat them with Siyata D'Shmaya, with Hashem's help, and that makes this book a very, very special Megillah. This is a very, very unique one. And we don't see Hashem's hand, his name, open. The hand of Hashem, Nashkach Hashem, we see behind the scenes, of course, but Hashem's name is not open. This really is a focus on the life of the tzaddikim and the success and the bracha and hatzlacha they have in this world, and the life of the Rishaim. And the stability and the distortion and the horrors that they create for themselves in this world. Yetz Hashem shall be zocheh to live the true life of Torah and mitzvah, guided by wisdom, by chachma, by bina, by dat, to have true insights and to have a true synthesis between our thoughts and our hearts and our feelings, and have connection to the Torah and the mitzvah, and have that clarity, so that in Yetz Hashem we can have both hatzlacha, both in this world and Olam Hazeh, with ourselves, our spiritual growth, and our families, and of course in Olam Haba as well.